Say hi to those knuckleheads for me.
Did you hear that? He called you knuckleheads.
I wasn't talking about you.
I mean,
Sure, he says that. Did you hear the beginning of the conversation?
Look,
No.
I am not afraid to say it. You are all knuckleheads, and I
mean-
love every bit of it.
I mean,
Also, hi. Good morning.
I mean, he's not wrong.
a bunch of knuckleheads.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing? Spitfire, Wad Tomato, Fire Arc, Ghost
Cat,
Hunter.
you're not first.
T-Schmidt,
You're a little late.
Wad Tomato N, Ghost Hunter. The old cat.
Ghost
That
Hunter,
old cat.
maybe because we were having technical difficulties. You might have been here on time, and we started it, and it crashed. So that might be why.
Who's your favorite knucklehead, and why is it Phil?
It's Phil, but it's a different Phil.
Jeez.
But it
You
technically,
gonna take that, Philip?
technically, it's still the same Phil, but it's a different part of Phil from a different place and different time.
I love how Phil says I was first in my heart.
I was first in my heart.
But then in parentheses, I
I
wasn't.
wasn't.
Monument Jabe subscribed. Oh, I suppose I should. Yeah. What's up, Jabe?
Gladiator says I am a technical difficulty.
Okay, Spitfire Miniature said, before we get too busy with everything, I need help trying to use Deep Sea Bend
Yes.
to recess shade some Space Wolves.
Okay.
But boy, it is very opposite of transparent, no matter how much... well, it's not a transparent paint.
It doesn't say transparent anywhere on it.
I think it's supposed to be transparent.
Spitfire, whenever you're having trouble with making a mixture where it is, no matter how much you add of one thing, it doesn't make a difference. Start with the other thing first. So in this case, the glaze medium, and add little bits of
Tiny bits of paint.
Yeah, I find this a lot when I'm mixing, like when I'm adding like white or bright colors to things. A lot of the time, if you're trying to get a very particular color, and you're like starting with a really dark color and you're adding bright colors to it, you're never going to get bright enough in that mixture without adding a ridiculous volume of paint. So you want to start from the other way around. You want to start with the bright color, and oh my god, and add little bits of the dark color to it, and then it'll start from the reverse end where it'll start really bright and go to dark. Please do not touch your hat.
Hello, fellow youths.
Hello. How goes it there?
Hello, fellow young ones. What
Don't-
hip things are we getting
It's
into
J
today?
Money.
Money.
It's J Money.
I
Who's
am
this
ready to
youngster?
get into more hip things with my fellow youngsters.
Slow Fuse's hip brother. Who's this youngster?
I love that, J Money.
With the Utes. Trying to get into some trouble with the Utes.
J Money.
Ghost Hunter said, my question today is, how do I use a glass palette and not get chunky paint? Put less paint on your palette.
Question, are you meaning chunky paint on the palette, or you're getting chunks in your paint when you paint with it because you're picking up thin, dried paint off of the palette?
Also that.
Thank you, Philip, for that good news. Appreciate it. That's a relief.
Fast
Something I
wick
did
versus
not
slow
need
fuse.
today.
Was there some concern whether or not they would show?
Well, there were multiple full carts out there, and on Friday they didn't show up.
Oh,
so
no.
I was,
Ugh.
I've been scarred by this. I've been burned by these guys before.
What are you doing? Why are you putting the hat back the other way?
Nobody really needs that.
Oh, I need a lot of that in my life. I need to have all kinds of that in my life.
Nobody really needs that.
And then I need you to sing Parents Just Don't Understand or some other early Fresh Prince song, because I feel like he wore his hat that way.
Parents just don't understand.
So, just in case y'all didn't notice, I have a very, very much larger than I was expecting it to be Derpy Bone Dragon.
That is very derpy.
You know, it looks a lot better in person than it did on the box.
What
But like,
happened
look
to
at
all
how
of
big,
his
like,
skin?
look at how big this is.
Yeah,
like
it's large.
It's ridiculous.
Where's all its skin?
It's a Derpy Bone Dragon.
What happened to its skin?
See,
There's gotta be a
Spitfire
story.
says Spitfire did that thing, nearly did that
It
thing that
rotted
somebody
off?
else did.
Came with no skin.
Well, it rotted off eventually. right?
Spitfire, we had somebody do that. They must have sold like a squad of Space Marines on eBay. They shipped it in a monument box and their label got torn off somewhere in shipping, and the only label that was left was the monument return address. So we got it with no information. Jen's been worried about that for months. It's like in her office. It's like Space Marine stuff, and we're like, we feel so bad because we don't know how to fix it.
We can't. There's just no information.
There was no eBay packing slip or anything in the box. Nothing. No information at all.
The
It just,
only-
we got a box of Space
Just
Marines,
a
and we were
bunch
like,
of paper towels.
Yeah, the only information on
Paper
the
towels
box
and a
was
couple
our
miniatures.
information.
yeah, it was just
Yeah.
us.
And it was literally just the top. I didn't even have their tracking number from the original shipment.
No, it was
to
just
look
our
up.
return address was all that was on the box.
top part of our label that had our return address on it, and it said like Ground Advantage or whatever.
Ghost Hunter, the paint is probably drying on the palette. Who asked that question? Yeah, because if you're using a glass palette and you thin it down and move your paint into big flat areas, like here, I'll show you my glass palette here. Right.
Like I tend to do on my wet palette.
See this area right here? I would not put more paint over that because it's so thin on the glass palette, because this was probably me diluting way down for a glaze of some sort. And so that area will chunk up. You'll get those chunks of paint will come off of there. So you should scrape it. If you do this a lot, just get a wet paper towel and wipe it off, right? You notice how most of the paint that I use on the glass palette is very small areas of paint, right? And then you just kind of pull little streaks out of it to paint.
We gotta clean your palette.
Well, it's about a mile thick.
It looks like
It's kind of like my own little private video game, because it's like when you put the paint on the palette, it gets more and more difficult to actually find where you put the paint on the palette.
fair.
And we have made that even tougher for me by coming out with gloss paints that look like they're wet all the time, because I used to just be able to aim for the wet spot.
Yeah, and now you can't do that anymore.
did this.
Aim for the wet spot? I like it.
You did this.
Came out of your mouth first. Uh-huh. Yeah, you can't unsay that one.
I just had sweet salty nuts too.
Oh,
But no banana this time.
Gabe, have you seen the I don't even know what you call it. He has soaked it before and had all the paint come off in like a sheet.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah. We send it to people randomly.
Yeah, I've sent it to someone else. I've sent it out to someone else.
So we are actually going to use some black brown today.
What? Say it isn't so.
Yeah, we're priming in black brown. Because
Say it isn't so.
Derpy Bone Dragon.
I'm gonna use this.
Yeah, so what's with the mech?
Well,
Change of pace? Oh no, for this weekend. Oh, I know what this is for. Yeah.
yeah. See?
I put 2 and 2 together. I can math.
T. Schmidt doesn't know though. He wants to know what it is.
Yes.
This is a Daiichi. If you're not familiar with the mech itself, it's a direwolf. It is a 100-ton clan assault mech.
Vexing workshop, just those two. I'm a regular old right-handed person.
And for those of you that don't know, this is a special week. They're letting me loose on the world, and I am going to travel in said world for some ridiculous reason to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean February.
Beginning of February seems like the
Not-
smartest time to go to
not
Minneapolis.
Smart. I don't
Not
understand
smart.
So I'm going to Minneapolis at the beginning of February, because that's where you're supposed to go as a smart adult. And I'm visiting with one Miniac and Ninjon to do an episode of Trapped Under Plastic and some live streaming tidbits with Scott the Miniature Miniac. And we are going to, during one of those live streams, play Battletech, my friends. Oh, yes. That's what we're doing.
When does he normally stream? Like, is it something that we can watch, or is it going to
I'm gonna
conflict
watch
with
it.
our own streaming?
He streams before we do and after we do on Fridays. So I will post up or send info back home as soon as I get there and actually know what's happening.
Okay.
As far as what's going to happen when, but I'm going to be teaching Scott how to play Battletech. He made the mistake of saying live on his stream he didn't understand what all the fuss was about.
You got him.
It's like an old man game or something like that. And I was like, well, I'll show you old man game. And Evan was like, you need to just fly up here and play Battletech with Scott. And I was like, done.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Done. Make it happen. So we did. We scheduled it, and it is happening.
Meaty hooks, it's a big cork.
Yeah, it's a big cork.
You can buy them on like Amazon, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I've never been able to find this size. I have to buy this one straight from a lab supply company.
What'd you just buy? Didn't you just get some on Amazon though?
Yeah, but they're not this big.
Oh.
This is like a size 36 cork.
Do you have a link to that lab supply company?
I mean, yeah, they're one of our vendors, so I can get you info.
Yeah, you should, because I would love to order some.
But the last batch that I got off of Amazon is pretty good. And there's a bunch of those over here if you want to use them.
I might.
Spitfire Miniatures is wanting to know if the glaze wash medium will make the paint more transparent if I start with medium and add a little bit of paint.
Yep, that's the whole point.
Yep.
To turn it into a filter. So whether or not you want to call it, we just call it glaze and wash because those are the ones that in miniature painting everybody's familiar with. But yeah, it is meant to dilute the paint to give you exactly that. Give you a diluted opacity. Just like the wash I'm using right now, it'll turn any color into working like this.
And meaty hooks, I don't know that we'll get that directly here today.
What's that?
The link to the place where you got that particular fork.
Oh, this one? No. I have to go dig through my vendor list on the computer.
Yeah.
If might be able to convince him to post it on the Discord when he finds it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep kicking me under the table, and I'll come up with some info for you. But you can search on Amazon and get pretty close.
Do you
If you're
prefer
not in
shin
our
or ankle?
Discord already, there's the link. And then if you don't see that link mentioned or posted up in the next couple of days, just send us a message or tag us in the main chat. You can tag Slow Fuse or Baby J, and one of them will get it for you. Vexing Workshop would like to know, when you're priming, how full are you filling the paint cup?
I knew I was going to prime this, and I kind of had a good idea of how much primer it would take. So I kind of filled it up to that level. But generally speaking, just put a little bit in at a time, and as you need to refill it, just refill it. Less is generally better.
Yeah.
I use this airbrush a lot, and I prime a lot with this airbrush, so I have a pretty good sense of like how much I need for one project like this. But generally speaking, fill it like a third of the way to half of the way up at the most, and then refill it as you need it. You really don't need to put any more in there than that.
Correcto.
Gladiator would like to know if you have ever magnetized any of your minis for different weapon options.
Yeah.
I have. I don't generally prefer to because I'm a masochist. But and I like spending money on more models instead of having. My big thing is I hate losing pieces. So like if I have stuff magnetized, I feel like I would just lose them.
Yeah,
Because I'm a freaking idiot and I do stuff like that all the time. So I tend to just glue everything down, but I have done it in the past.
Professional paint liquor, that's none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
JP Gray started painting a tree person today.
Nice.
Said, spent an hour not doing inventory and just painted.
Nice.
I think that's called a lunch break. Did you eat lunch though? Because if you didn't eat lunch, then it's just a break. Gladiator Jordan said you're hilarious.
I'm hilarious?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Why am I hilarious?
Because you said you don't magnetize because you're an idiot and would lose stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, look, I know myself pretty well then, right?
You ate some pistachios. Well, that's something. That's good, I guess. That's some protein, maybe.
There's some protein, maybe.
Lumberjack Tim painted last night too. Awesome.
Nice. I built some models last night and listened to some podcasts. It was quite nice, actually. I have to admit.
Did you build that model?
Professional
did.
paint liquor testing a wizard's butt on a space marine.
A lot of this weekend I spent thinking about projects that I have and how I wanted to really start getting projects out and done with. So I've got this event that I'm going to, that Kyle is running this weekend, which is super exciting. He runs heresy events locally that are all super narratives. So he writes all these custom narratives for these events, and they're a blast. They're always super fun. And it's a doubles event. So each player brings 1,250 points. So I have some of my 1,250 points painted already, but I'd like to get it all done for the event. So I have a fully painted army.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my goal for this week. And then after that project is done, I want to paint a bunch of Tomb Kings. I want to get a Tomb Kings army done. So today is me painting up the Bone Dragon, but I also brought a little test guy here so that I can test out the recipe. I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do in my head. I just want to see it realized on paper, write it down so I don't forget it, so that I can replicate it really fast while I'm hanging out at home. Or if I'm doing anything on stream with you guys.
Ghost Hunter said you need to learn what a bits box is to keep your magnetized parts, I assume.
Well, so here's the thing. A bits box is used
That's
to...
for unfinished stuff.
Correct.
Oh, yeah,
Jason
yeah.
hit it on the nose.
Yeah, if you put finished
No.
stuff in there and it bangs around
You
and
don't put your finished stuff in
Yeah.
a bits box. What kind of heathens are you?
Right. Y'all call me a heathen for losing all my pieces. But you guys are heathens for putting your painted, finished parts of miniatures in a box with unpainted things.
No,
They
that
get glued
works.
to other things.
Not what we do.
Cliff Jumper finally recovered from LVO COVID. Hope everyone who was there came back home healthy. Well, half of them did.
Well, about that.
The other half did not come home healthy, but they're all back now.
I know it
Everybody's
sounds
back
like
now.
I'm doing great. But we're working on We're working on it. No, I was pretty well recovered before the end of the week last week. And was able to be here on Friday, which was great. It was nice to see everybody. And the weekend was I got a nice amount of time to sit and relax and kind of let myself recover to the state that I am now, which is quite nice. I feel great.
Ghost Hunter said, I painted this weekend, but I got chunky results. Now I need to either learn how much paint to use or pull my wet palette back out. I mean, use what works for you. If you feel like your wet palette works better for you than the glass palette, then use the wet palette. You don't have to use the glass palette. But a little drop of paint out at a time is all you need. So definitely we'll use
Well,
glass.
like I said, it sounds like you were having paint dry, and then the gritty from that paint was getting into what you were painting.
Jade, hello.
Oh, can I steal one of those?
No.
Can I have one of those
Please.
corks?
Also, no.
Can I partake of one of the corks?
Oh.
Shelby, it totally did.
Big one or small one?
Let's do a small one.
Small one?
Yeah, I'll do a small one.
Shelby is convinced that eating dirt as a child
Yep.
gave her a stronger
These are
immune
nice.
system, and I say yes, it probably did that.
Artist Amelia, what's going on? Who rated us? Artist Amelia did. 57 people. What's going on, folks?
Holy cow,
How did
thank
I
you for the
miss
raid.
that?
Hello.
Because I didn't hear. They didn't tell me.
Hello, welcome, Raiders.
Welcome. Welcome to the Monument Hobbies Funhouse. Not to be confused with the Bouncy House. Not so bouncy in here.
So this guy is going to be the bane of Miniac's existence while Miniac plays these 4 guys.
Ooh, I am excited.
Bootsy Bear, thank you for the follow. And Nth Power, thank you.
Nth power, yeah. Ninth power. Nth power.
I took some time this weekend to get these guys in workable order.
Oh, did you spruce them up a little bit?
Yeah, finish the base rims and all that kind of silly stuff.
Very cool.
Picked a lance for him to use, and then I'm painting up the die. We were using a Warhawk as a direwolf for quite a while, and I wanted to make sure that we actually took the mech it's supposed to be and represent correctly.
That Artist Amelia stream is going well. We just started about 25 minutes ago. And Jason's working on...
A direwolf.
Yeah. What?
I have a big derpy bone dragon, which is kind of blending into the background of...
Jason is preparing for a field trip to Minnesota this weekend to play a game with Miniac. So that's what he's working on. Jordan is working on this dragon with no skin.
It's got some like stringy
skin
bits.
Bits.
I would not consider it to be skinned.
That's a good question. Where in Minnesota? Just the Twin Cities?
Minneapolis, yeah.
Minneapolis.
Visiting with
Miniac. Wherever he
Miniac
lives.
and Ninjan.
Does he have a signed field trip slip? I did give him a permission slip, yes.
I did give him a permission slip. Oh my goodness.
So we will be doing
Cora, well,
all the nerdy things.
he's gone just Thursday to Saturday, and it won't matter to Cora. She will still want to sleep on my side and shove me into a little sliver of bed.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what she does.
Every now and then she does it to me, but not very often.
Not really, because when she does it to Jason, she's actually going the opposite direction and still managing to kick me as well.
Still managing to kick you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we woke up like one night not too long back, and she was sleeping long ways laterally in between us. Had her.
So like the three of us were making an H.
Yeah. She had like her butt pressed
we were
into
like
me.
This and she was in the middle.
And her head pressed into Mom.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, "Oh, check it out! I can touch both of them at the same time."
Artist Amelia said that if you get a chance, you should go to Hot Plate. It's a really cool diner that she Amelia, I'm assuming is she, used to go to
In Minneapolis.
in Minneapolis. But my recommendation is to go to the 5/8 Club and get a Juicy Lucy, because that is the original Juicy Lucy, and it is the best one. So you put that on your list. Tell Maniac you want a Juicy Lucy.
I will never remember this. What is a Juicy Lucy?
It's the burger with the cheese inside.
Oh yeah.
It's so good there. So much better. Like cold beer and cheeseburgers does not make it correctly.
I am hoping for some fine Midwest dining.
There's only some good Midwest dining to be had.
Ugh, no. Don't let them take you to Cane's. We have that here. That's not special.
They like tendies.
Professional paint liquor. I'm going back to your question. It got a little lost in that raid. Here we go. Question on a secondary color to pair with Wizard's Butt. Blue or orange or something else?
Oh. Blue or orange? I think orange would work okay.
Yeah, anything in the warmer yellow, anything that yellow is a component of, oranges, reds, but you're going to get a fairly warm model. The Wizard's Butt is a fairly cool yellow, leaning a little into green. But, I mean, blues, anything can work. What are you trying to create? What are you painting? Did I hear a Space Marine? Is that what you're trying to do?
I don't know if we saw that.
Culvers? We have Culvers
here.
here.
We have Culvers here. So,
I want to find like local dive joints.
5/8 Club.
I've been using the wizard's butt as the highlight for all of the gold on the lion. And so you can kind of see how it plays around with that yellowishness at, next to green, next to a bluish black for the armor and all of that. So I feel like it does well in a lot of arenas, but, the red, it really likes the red. So it's a real versatile color. It does a good job.
This is the wizard's butt we're talking about?
Yeah.
It's such a good color.
I did wizard's butt with dark golden brown for all the gold on the lion. Space Marine, you just testing the color? Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you go with a bright blue, it's going to look kind of clown suit, because you got any yellow is going to be bright, and then you do anything bright along with it, it starts to just amp up the vibrancy. So unless you're doing like Harlequins or something that's notably bright across the spectrum, I would tend to do muted colors with it, no matter what. But, there's a lot of room for moving how you like.
You could potentially do like a deep bluish purple, like a darker color. I think would work pretty well with it. As like a 1-2 kind of color palette there, since they're sort of opposites-ish.
Source does said my old job used to host an event in Minneapolis in February. They called it sub-zero because that's commonly the temperature there then.
Yeah. I was meaning
yeah.
to today jump on Amazon and buy a toque, because
Yeah.
I can't find any of my good toques.
What was the
So I'll have to find one that can get delivered Wednesday.
Oh, where did I just see one though?
what's the temperatures like when you're going to be gone?
Cold.
I don't even ask those stupid questions. It's gonna be cold.
I will tell you right now.
Jen's gonna
rub
find
it in.
out for you right now.
So I plan on wearing warm clothes. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm a grown-ass man. I'll
it's not like you're
survive.
gonna be hanging out outside. It's 46 there right now. Let's see. Thursday, the high is 44. Yeah, it's 40s while you're there.
Be doing
That's
white,
not unbearable. And
white,
no-
blue
no
with deep
rain or
sea bin
snow.
for all the medals. It shouldn't be that bad.
You could
Yeah.
wear what you're wearing right now. You'd be fine at 40-degree weather.
Fine.
You'll be fine. You're
I
not
would-
me.
I could wear what I'm wearing right now and be fine with 40-degree weather.
Oh,
Be fine.
that's not right.
Jen, you are crazy. You're incorrect.
I know that I have a long sleeved shirt and a jacket on, and this would not be enough for me. There. But I'm always cold. Meaty Hook said, any advice for colors to use on maybe on a colder, maybe bluish rock for Angron to stand on? Want to contrast it with a very warm Angron.
Gray blues work really well. Something that brings in, like a good neutral color, but doesn't shout blue.
Amelia leaving.
I
Bye.
typically
Thank you for the raid.
thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you for the raid.
I typically prefer to start with like warm gray, like dark warm gray, and then after the dark warm gray, add in like dark gray blue, something of that nature.
Shelby's floored by the fact that you called it a toque.
What else is it?
I don't
A
even know what
beanie.
you're talking about.
A beanie. Yes.
Oh.
That's what people here call them.
No, they call them toques.
You do. People here call them beanies. Am I right, Shelby? See, she said yes.
So just a note, chat. Shelby offices with Jen now, so they're always going to agree with each other. I feel like they've become fast friends.
This is the thing. In fact, we had this conversation at Adepticon one year because Elric's Hobbies, when they were right across from us, and they had their, was it Tony? They had their daughters,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, we love your beanies. We want to get a beanie." And everyone's like, "What's a beanie?" Like because we were with Canadians and they didn't know what a beanie was.
Oh, were they like?
And then the
oh, you
girls
mean a
didn't
toque?
know what a toque was. It's a thing.
Is
It's
that a
toque.
Canadian thing?
Yes.
Calling
It's
it
a
a
toque.
It's in. So I know toque from the Bob and Doug McKenzie Christmas song because one of the gifts on one of the days of Christmas was a toque.
Y'all are.
Shelby said her mother's the only other
Spectacular.
person here that calls it that.
Well, she's also Canadian.
A toboggan is a sled.
Yep.
A toque is a hat.
Yep.
That's true.
Not
Jason's
a
hockey
toboggan.
past. Yeah. Tim even calls it a beanie. It's not just Arizona. Pretty sure that everyone everywhere calls them beanies except in Canada.
I always only knew it as a toque, and I was born in Texas.
Stonewall.
Freaking Canadians.
Are you talking about the hat, like a knit hat? That's not a toboggan. A toboggan is a sled. Growing up in Davenport, it was called a toboggan, but that's a sled.
I have heard them called toboggans. I think that's usually the one with the ball on top. Like the yarn ball
A
on
toboggan
top.
is a hat if you're drunk enough.
All right, so we're on 2 colors here. We did the base coat priming layer of black brown, followed by a nice healthy coat of dark golden brown.
Punisher said, "You are definitely the only person in Texas that called it a toque."
That sounds accurate.
You people don't know nothing. You don't know nothing.
Meaty Hook said, "I know it as a goobellini." Which one? The toboggan or the toque? These are all really weird words.
I'm gonna be honest,
say
this
them
is
over and over
weird
again.
conversations we're having in stream today.
Pretty par for the course.
That is accurate. Yeah.
A toboggan is a sled and a hat in a lot of the Northeast. It's all just a hooba.
Hooba?
Did I just say an inappropriate word? Oh, that's Norwegian for hat. Okay. Like, am I swearing right now?
Maybe. Depends on how bad the joke was. All right.
Oh, okay.
Now, we're using bone. Everybody, be prepared. We're using bone to paint bone.
IDK, just Dave, hello. And yes, we will. Well, I may not be personally going to Adepticon, but Monument Hobbies will be at Adepticon in some capacity.
Yeah.
We have assigned who's going yet. But we do have a booth there. After a cursory search, O'Connor and Kellerman said there was a period in the mid-1800s when people used toboggan as a verb, meaning to ride a toboggan. Again, they often wore toboggan hats while riding. And still, a toboggan is a sled. I'm simply not okay with calling hats toboggans.
Yeah, this is unacceptable.
We don't do that here.
Do people actually do that?
What, ride toboggan?
No, call the hats toboggans. I've always known it as a schmooble booble. What weird words you people have for them. I think that's the far superior name.
Schmooble booble?
Schmoogle booble?
Schmooble booble.
I'm willing to change everything I know to have it be called that.
Hawkbase, do you know when the metallic set will be back in stock?
Is it out?
Rich gold, I believe.
No idea. Next day or so? Usually if things are out of stock on the website color-wise, it'll be, 24, 48 hours.
With a few exceptions, like the fluorescence.
Yeah, the fluorescence. New releases, typically, if they go out quick, then we're waiting on raw material because we've sold through huge amounts of them. But in the daily course of things, if a color goes out of stock, it's usually back in stock pretty quick.
IDK just Dave votes that Jordan should go to Adepticon. Says, I miss my friends. Or
Dave.
friend, maybe. I'm not sure.
Friend. Yeah.
Friend with an M.
Oh. Huh?
I
Friend
think
with
it
an
was
M.
a typo, but I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't know if it was like an inside thing.
No.
It's just a
That's just
typo.
a typo.
The Brogrammer. That's a great name.
The Brogrammer.
The Brogrammer.
That's awesome.
Nobody. Well, we're not going to click any links here. Stonewall.
Man, you put a little bit of that under painting for this bone. Oof. Just comes together so nicely. It's almost like it's a really good bone color.
I mean, it's called bone.
Oh yeah, of course.
Kinghammer 15 said should be tonight or tomorrow. I'm guessing that's.
Kinghammer. That
There you go.
Kyle guy.
You might know when it's coming
Kyle,
back.
that's direct from the horse's mouth right there.
Yeah.
If Kyle says it's soon, it's super soon.
So if it's not tonight or tomorrow, you can take it up with him.
Yeah. He's a small guy. You can pressure him.
Oh man. So we went and tried a little Philly cheesesteak place that we found the other day.
Who's we?
Kyle and I.
Mm-hmm. The one down on Central?
Yeah. Yeah, we enjoyed it. It's pretty good.
It was good.
Yeah.
That's the one that's only open like at lunchtime, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, are they really only
Yeah,
open?
they're not
at
open
so-
at night.
so
So,
if he has a
anytime I get a
dinner time-
hankering for a cheesesteak, I'm like, what? Try the new
Dinner time
cheese. The
cheesesteak
Taste of Philly
craving.
place. I'm like, nope, they're closed.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, no, we went there for lunch today and it was nice. They have Euros too, which is kind of weird, but I guess fair enough.
Professional paint liquor wants to know, can you guys kidnap me so I can go to Adepticon? No. We are not going to engage in any illegal activities.
Also, you can just go to Adepticon.
Yeah.
We don't need to kidnap you for that
It's
to
a free
happen.
country. Kool-Aid 671, thank you for the follow. Well, Tim, that's the dilemma. When he wants a cheesesteak, they're closed.
I actually kind of enjoyed it more than I liked the other place that you recommended that I go to. I forget the name of it now. The one over by
Corleone's.
the Chipotle?
Corleone's.
Corleone's,
Corleone's went downhill, unfortunately.
yeah.
They used to be really good.
You can go paint liquor. That's what we're saying. They have. I've noticed that too, Shelby. Jordan and Kyle have been going on a lot of cute little lunch dates together.
Hey, you know what? Hey, if we want to go out on lunch
It's
dates,
okay.
we
You're
can go out on
allowed.
lunch dates, okay? Sorry.
Vexing Workshop, you're checking out your first local gaming con in a few weeks. Awesome. Genghis Khan. That's a great
Nice.
name. Genghis Khan.
In Colorado,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
we support that con.
We do.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
Great.
Yeah, set that up earlier on, or well, I guess late last year. Yeah.
Well, we won't be there for it.
No.
But we are providing some promo items, probably prize support.
Yeah, we're
Awesome.
supporting their paint and take area. Is the big one that we're doing. So. That should be coming up here soonish, I
In a
think.
few weeks.
Yeah. Pretty decently sized regional event.
Yep, in Denver.
Mhm.
It's been around for a long time.
Oh, it's been around for ages, right? Long time. Yeah, you're doing one of the basing classes that they're doing. Nice, very cool.
What Ghost Hunter? What kind of event is MegaCon if it's not gaming?
Man, this base was so warped when I pulled that out of the box yesterday.
A big square one.
Yeah,
A
it was
rectangle.
almost bent like at a 45-degree angle. I had to like literally boil a bunch of water and pour it all over the base and then set something on top of it to flatten it
How
out.
does
that's
that
crazy.
happen?
I don't know. It was wild though.
That's crazy.
It was like really really bent. I was like when I saw it I was pissed for a minute. I was like,
Yeah.
God dang it! I spent a lot of money on this
Yeah.
stupid thing. And I was like, oh wait, I can just
You have to
heat bend it
spend
out.
that much money. Spitfire miniatures. I don't know what any of those things mean. So I can't answer that question.
Willing
Do you
to
guys
buy,
know?
willing to sell, willing to trade.
Oh.
No, no.
What's that?
Spitfire is asking if they're able to ask if somebody's willing to buy, sell, or trade something in chat.
I mean, if you have stuff you're looking for, you're welcome to say, hey, I'm looking for this. And if anybody answers, just don't pester people.
In the stream chat or in Discord chat?
You asking me? I
Yeah.
mean, you're welcome to ask right here. If you want.
Okay. You have your answer.
Yeah, just don't pester people.
I just heard Shelby go, ew. I wonder if it was Gabe. It was probably Gabe. Knowing Gabe, probably Gabe.
Who did the thing that elicited the ooh?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
I'd be, well, no, it might have been Kyle. Kyle has been known to elicit. How dare you? Am I wrong, Gabe? It's either you or Kyle. And it could equally be either one of you. But I also did hear Kyle out there a minute ago, so it's very possible. Game delay. Willing to buy, willing to sell, willing to trade. Wizard the butt. Whom to shave. Walking the talk. It was Shelby.
Wait, Shelby was grossing herself out?
I don't understand.
I'm doing this guy in one of the, I forget what it's called, one of the Wolf Clan color schemes. This Clan Wolf, even though they didn't invent the Daiichi by design, they won the right to make them in glorious combat with Clan Smoke Jaguar.
Clan Smoke Jaguar.
And then had most of the major areas where they produced Daiichi / Dire Wolf were run by Clan Wolf for a long time. So I learned all this needless clan history, filthy vat-born.
Clan Smoke Jaguar sounds like an esports team that's way into vaping.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? They were one of the OG clans in the invasion, though.
New band name.
New band name.
I like Hell's Horses. Clan Hell's Horses. And I love the fact that they have a mech called the Ice Ferret.
Oh, Shelby was. Oh no, I was singing the tune of the intro for old Disney movies.
Daishi is what Kirita called it. It's the dire wolf. It was given the name Daishi, which is something like swift death, or I forget what Daishi means, but it was Kirita, the House Kirita, that named it the Daishi when the clan was invading.
Direwolf is from Game of Thrones. You're making
Sorry
this
to
up.
break it to you.
You're making stuff up.
You're making stuff up.
Sorry to break it to you.
Jason, you're making things up. This is unacceptable.
It's 5 and it's still light out.
What?
We're making the turn.
Yeah. We're
I'm-
in there.
We've turned
So
a corner,
excited
Tim.
about it.
Congrats on your vitamin D.
All right. Now, I gotta take a look at where this bone's at. I gotta make a decision on how I want to change it from where it's at. To make it look a little bit more fancy. It definitely needs a little bit of a dry brush. So you break it up. Trying to figure out if I want to spend the time to wash the whole thing.
Whoa, Tim.
Which sounds like a gigantic nightmare.
Don't get ahead of yourself. We don't want it to be warm yet here.
Although it probably could use a wash. What it could definitely use is some noosh. But that might have to wait until tomorrow because I have makeup sponges at home that I need.
Game Delay said Mech Warrior mechs were my first intro, then Robotech, but then I found Ghost in the Shell, and that's shaped what all mechs are supposed to look like in my head.
Ghost in the Shell? I wish that show wasn't so slow. Very cool show. Very interesting. A little slow for me. Just a wee bit.
It's cold and brown. You need warmth. Oh yeah, again, Arizona, but Arizona is hot and brown. So
It's hot.
if the
and
brown is a deciding factor, then maybe Arizona's not the place.
Uh,
Not that you were considering it, but
Vexing Workshop. 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Warm enough to rattle can varnish a backlog of minis. Matte varnishes seem to be on the back order. I would say, if you're really keen on doing it, test it on something first.
Rattle can should be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 72 to that type of room temperature.
Yeah.
So if you put it in hot water, bring it up to that temperature for a while, you should be good, but realize the temperature in the can will drop rapidly. So if you can't spray in an enclosed environment, like a garage or something, be careful.
oh, it wasn't a question. It was a statement. It's
Oh.
already been done.
Okay
It
then.
worked well, kept warm inside, ran out and sprayed, ran back in. I think this was in response to just the conversation about it being cold still.
Got it.
Yeah, you just got to keep that can warm.
We get a brown wash with a touch of dark golden brown in it. A little bit more warmth. Let's see. I'm thinking over here. We're hatching
Careful.
plans. Huh?
Careful.
Might hurt myself?
Careful.
Too much thinking?
Punisher. Punisher said, my wife's car has heated seats. They're quite nice for keeping my can warm.
God, I can just envision it like me out in the freezing temperatures, like with my car on and some rattle can bottles of rattle can paint in my in the seat next to me.
Well,
Just heating
I
up.
read it as can being your
Yeah, it's his tush.
your butt.
It's his tush, baby J.
Okay.
His tush.
I thought it was funny the other way too.
It is, the literal aspect of it is funny.
I'm a literal guy, okay? I'm a literal guy. You write something on a piece of paper, I read it, and it is what it
Keister.
is.
He's talking about his keister,
Yeah, he was talking about. I was just about to say he's talking about his keister. Baby J's over here,
which is also a great
not
word.
getting it.
Hey now.
They can heat both cans. There you go.
Yeah, one can heat one set of cans, the other one can heat another set of cans.
El Absurdo, Battletech, my other pile of shame.
I have to admit though, Battletech, pretty easy to make not a pile of shame.
Yeah.
You did it very quickly.
It,
Although you do still have a bit of a pile of shame. But you have
well, that's just all the models you had
A
to
lot
buy
of
to get the ones I
models.
wanted.
that also true.
Heat your wizard's butt and your wizard's butt. Yes.
Yeah, we painted an army of 47 of these in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Your
We did, I mean, it's really wish.com non-metallic metal like what you see me doing on the Daiichi, but it still works. And but I painted all inner sphere. I've got an inner sphere. What would it be? Is it a battalion? Is it a regiment? I have an inner sphere regiment. And tons and tons of mechs.
TM Artoria said it's never a pile of shame, it's a pile of potential.
Exactly.
A glass half full way of looking at it. Thank you for following Furiosa.
Furiosa.
Game Delay said that mech is Bigfoot. It's in the Bigfoot walking pose. Put him in some trees and take an out of focus picture.
Oh, the
The one that they
Wolverine.
always see where he's like this.
Wolverine's like, yeah, he's like looking back because you're taking a picture of him. That's my favorite mech you're talking about right there. Watch it.
All the more reason for them to say mean things.
That 7K is literally, I think, my favorite mech in the mech world.
Is it 7K points?
Huh? No, it's a Wolverine 7K.
Oh.
It's his designation.
Oh, 7K designation, yeah.
Spitfire Miniatures said, when building a diorama, how much of the environment should be present and how much can you expect a viewer to extrapolate?
I mean, this is actually a good question. So you want to the diorama should give you the setting for the piece. I shouldn't have to think about what the setting is because the whole point of a diorama is to set the scene. If that makes sense.
The thing that I like to tell people is that the miniature size is going to determine everything about the diorama.
Also, yes.
If you're dealing with a miniature that is, say, a Space Marine 30 millimeter, we'll call it, then you've got to be real careful about how much you put into the environment, how big you make the diorama, because those things go together, right? Unless you're doing like a jungle scene where you can fit a lot of crap in a small area. The biggest mistake I see a lot of people make when they do dioramas is that they put too much environmental stuff and then they put a little miniature in it. There's storytelling that can be done with that if you're doing a sniper in, like I said, in the jungle or in a bigger field where it's like a Where's Waldo. I have all these things to see, and the goal is to create a puzzle to find the miniature. Then you could have it to where you have more environment, less miniature. But in general, what you want to make sure of is that the focal point, when I, as a viewer, walk up to your model, is that the model is the focal point. The diorama and the environment around the model should be just enough to give that. Think of the bubble of privacy, right? That 3 foot, 4 foot bubble around you that you just don't want space being invaded. I don't want people standing closer than that to me if I can avoid it. That's the kind of area I want to see in a diorama. You can enlarge that if you have larger pieces you need to show off, like maybe a bigger wall. Just be careful and understand that every time you add more stuff, you're taking away from the model, which is the principal part of the story. So even in battle scenes where you have two models and they're standing far apart, you should probably rethink it, because if you have to put that much environment between the two models, you're going to lose the story real quick. Because the eye is going to drift to all that other stuff you made and lose the sense of the character that's in the environment. So speak more with less, kind of a thing.
Said if I'm using an indoor scene, would it be appropriate to show it as if, say, you cut a submarine in half and can see the layout?
I mean, yeah, you can obviously do anything you want, you know. I think it's, like I said, it's more just don't show. People will get it, right? Like, say you're doing the inside of a submarine, you know, do something that has maybe, you know, some equipment. Obviously, the sailors themselves are going to give the feel of a submarine. Show some equipment and like a cutaway view of the wall or something, or a torpedo tube or something. You know, just make sure that you're not having to do 12 inches of submarine wall for a 30 millimeter miniature. Unless you have a damn good reason to do so.
Source Does would like to know what would be a good recipe from base set colors for dried blood splatter.
Mahogany and burnt red.
Burnt red. That's what I was thinking.
Baked right in. Mahogany is a perfect color for that base, and then just a little bit of burnt red out towards maybe the pooling parts of the blood, if you still want to have it be red at all.
James DeLay said, I imagine that my diorama minis are people on stage or a TV show. Make them stand awkwardly close to each other and keep the focus tight.
You got it. That's exactly right.
It is always surprising to see like a TV studio and realize how small they are.
How big the studios
look
are.
So big on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the world of military diorama building, you'll find that people will do cutaways of tanks and buildings. You know, show the tank sticking out of a building, but the building's only kind of half done, because the focus is not the building. The focus is the tank. And you'll understand it's a building by only showing a small percentage of the building. But the crew and the tank are what you want to focus on.
IDK Just Dave said, what about the use of negative space? Opinions?
Well, how do you mean negative space on a three-dimensional plane, right? Negative space in artwork in general is really good. Harder to do in 3 dimensions, right? Because all the space is taken up by something. So give me an example of what you would be considering that negative space. Because there's no such thing as like that same dead space feel that you can get from 2D art.
I don't. It says like I don't know what that word is supposed to be, where there is a large backdrop with a small model and it is used to show size.
Large backdrop, small model, and it is used to show
Two
size.
is a Danish mini painter. I don't know. Do you know who this person is?
I have not heard of this person.
Again, I guess it has to do with all of the elements in it and where the eye is drawn to, right? It can, all of these tools can be used to great effect as storytelling components. But by and large, the rule of thumb is to go small, right? Keep the diorama environment small and tell a very succinct story, get the point across so that the eye can stay on the important part, which is generally the model or models, right? If you then within that have a particular model that, you know, the storytelling is this tiny thing in a broad open area, great. Then you're able to do that. But a lot of that is restricted either to stylistic choices, something that you're recognized for, or something that the character is recognized for.
Ghost Hunter bought an artist light this weekend and the colors on my minis look really different. I was actually like, wow. Yeah, good lighting is
Lighting make all the difference in the world sometimes, right?
Yeah. Game Delay said the problem with empty space is that what's supposed to be epic too often ends up looking accidental. Unless the space all aims you toward the intended focal point, it can feel like a mistake.
Yeah, emptiness is, you know, not, and artists will argue till the end of time, because everything that you create, if you do it right, can be considered as a work of art, right? And garner a lot of attention. You can say, oh my God, you know, you broke all the rules and it worked, because there really are no rules. There's just some simple guidelines to kind of try to go by. But again, the biggest mistake people make with dioramas is they make the base too big. Too much stuff. And the model gets lost in all the stuff because the brain starts associating, well, I mean, I'm doing a diorama, and in order to do a diorama, what that really is and how it is different than just doing a model is that I want to be able to see the environment the model is in more than just, you know, like in the case of this guy, more than just the base and this hex around his feet. You know, I might want to do a scene that's, you know, as big as the diameter of this cork, and that works really well, because in the diameter of this cork I could put a blown up wall behind him and create, you know, a city street with a bent sign, and I could give it a very urban feel. Or I could put him in a field, or I could put him on a snow-capped mountain or something like that. I don't need a ton of space to tell any of those stories. Now, by the same token, if I wanted to make it look like the last mech in existence, and I wanted to paint and put it on a longer backdrop, you know, a longer base that with a road falling off into the distance, and, you know, or maybe no road at all, just a wasteland of nothing on a big backdrop, so he felt utterly small in this big backdrop. If you tell the story right, yeah, you can make it feel like, you know, last mech on Earth kind of a thing. And it would be a neat storytelling experience. It's just harder to pull off because you got to be very exacting in the way you present all of the elements. Because if you just put a mech in a big empty space, it doesn't necessarily give you that feeling. The way you position the mech, the painting around it all, you know?
There's a lot of moving parts into making that work.
Yeah. But definitely doable.
Avian? Is it Mech Monday?
No?
Nope. This is most certainly not a mech.
That's Jason.
Don't mind me, just getting in here with some noosh.
Talked about what, the diorama thing? You know, with like painting competitions having categories with diorama, you know, and I've judged quite a few of those, and it's the biggest thing that I say. Like when I judge individual model competitions, the biggest thing I talk about is value. People don't highlight enough, right? They don't give me enough contrast to look at. They stop in their midtones. With dioramas, it's that they make the base too big.
Yeah.
Those are the single biggest issues that I talk to people about when judging paint competitions. It's either their kind of need to go deeper in brightness and darkness, or going overboard with the amount of environment in their diorama. And whoever wrote was a Game Delay, whoever said that treat it like TV or movies, you know, the set's not nearly as big as it makes you feel it is.
Yep. That's a great way to put it.
That's the key.
Yeah.
100%.
You have to remember the miniatures are still the focus of the diorama. So they should be central to it. And if you make a diorama that has so much more space around it than the miniatures take up, then it becomes more about the space that you've created than it does the miniatures that inhabit
it. Shelby said, now I want to make a diorama.
Oh, God.
One thing at a time, Schlebby.
Somebody rein that girl in.
She can't be reined. My goodness. Have you met Shelby?
Somebody rein that girl in.
All of mine are on concrete. That's standing in an empty parking lot.
Yeah. Yep. All on black tarmac. She put grass on a couple of them, but I think I had to do some of those.
I have the ingredients for a diorama.
Yep.
Not done yet.
You have the ingredients for a diorama?
Yeah, she painted all the models, and she's got the
I made a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
Her Hug Life diorama.
You just say Hug Life?
Yeah.
Damn it feels good to be a gangster.
Damn, it
actually.
feels good to be a
Hug
gangster.
Life.
It's her
It's my Lisa Frank models. Like Crazy Tiger and Panda and Unicorn.
My Little Pony.
Nope. Still don't have a spray paint can. Steve Schmidt told Shelby she needs to paint her army first, and she said it's bold of you to assume I have a full army to paint.
Well, we sort of stopped her from going in and buying one.
What?
Yeah. Well, stopped is a strong word.
So, do you feel that stopping her was being a good influence or a bad influence?
I think we didn't stop her.
She's her own woman. Do what she wants.
She can do whatever she wants. Yeah, it wasn't about stopping her from doing a thing. Stopping was the wrong word. We explained. Okay, she was interested in buying a whole bunch of stuff to just paint some like one or two things.
Oh.
And we were like
big boxes.
yeah, it's like, do you really want to play the game
Yeah.
or do you want to just paint some models?
Yeah.
If you want to play the game, by all means,
Get it all, yeah.
buy it. Get into it. We'll have fun with it. Or if you just want to paint something, then just go pick out a model that you like. That was the conversation that we had.
Gotcha.
Yes, and to be fair, we did try and get her into the dark side. Also, I'm pretty sure I put some real money down that by the end of 2024, Shelby will be playing a miniatures game with us.
Oh, I believe that.
I got money down on the table.
I don't think that's. I mean,
It's gonna happen.
I wouldn't need to put money down. I just believe that's going to happen. I think she will. Oh, Phil, that's so generous of you.
What did he say?
Is she doing this for you? She gets to paint some of my pretty horses.
Yeah, He might be taking a little bit of advantage of the situation.
Like, oh, she really likes to paint. Here, paint these.
Yeah, he did say that. He was like, hey, if you really want to paint stuff, you can just paint mine.
She's up for it. Yes, I will be helping Philip paint pretty ponies. Sapo said, when painting black, what is the key to making sure that the viewer can tell the difference in materials, like black leather boots with black pants?
Texture.
Texture.
Reflectivity. Think about how those different things reflect light around them and use that to inform how you texture the surface of the material that you're painting. For example, leather has a different surface texture than like a armor plate will have, right? So think about those things when you're approaching painting whatever it is that you're going to want to work on.
Phil said, whisper, Shelby, don't play any games this year and I'll place a bet against Jordan and we can share the pot.
No, lies. Don't do it.
Just wait until January 1st of next year.
She was like, this is a long time. That's a long time.
But her response is, this sounds like a really good idea and I fully back it.
Gosh darn it. I'm going to lose.
You guys should really tell Jen the
Not to
rules
read them.
of this game before
But
you.
you have to be part of it. It's delightful and fun. This little scheme.
Wait, Jen, are you getting in on their scheme
No,
to
I'm
spurn
not.
me?
I'm just reading it
Oh
out
my
loud for the
goodness.
whole world to hear when they probably wanted to keep it on the DL a little bit more. Nest Thunder, thank you for the follow. Oh, Phil said, hey, Jordan, I have $500. She doesn't play any games this year.
I ain't taking that bet now.
Feel like they're ganging.
Wait,
up.
well, this
Feel
is
like they're ganging
collusion.
up on you, Jordan.
This is collusion.
Feel like they're ganging up on you a bit, buddy.
No, this is illegal.
Oh, Gabe's going to take that bet.
You can't collude.
Oh, see, Gabe knows he can get her to play. Gabe may have
Did Gabe
information that
take
she's
it?
already played.
I wasn't offering it to you, Gabe.
Fine, Gabe and I will get in on this together. He and I will collude against you two, colluding against me. Let's do it, Gabe. By our powers combined.
I don't think Gabe was looking to share that money with you there, baby Jake.
Whoa, I didn't say anything about any money going anywhere.
Said any games, so
Yeah,
all year.
Shelby, you are
So,
not
no
allowed to play
Monopoly.
any games for the rest of this year.
No Cards Against Humanity.
You can't even play tic-tac-toe.
No tic-tac-toe. No Wordle.
Nothing. Those games you play with yourself.
No video games.
No video games.
It's got way out of hand real quick. I'm not real sure what happened here.
Honestly, I don't either.
Shelby, I feel like they're ganging up on you now.
Whoa.
Very
She is
sorry.
ganging up on me with
Very
Philip.
sorry about this. I don't want this to be the environment that we
Oh, she's fine with the environment. Are you kidding me?
create here.
She basically grew up in this environment.
She's in a new position. She's feeling vulnerable. You guys are taking advantage of her.
Whoa.
Shelby said, sorry, Jason. I can't play the new game Monument is making. I hope you understand the hustle.
Oh.
But the last part was the best. I hope you understand the hustle. I respect it.
Jason, would you care to comment?
She will play it January 1st, 2025.
So
But there's $250 on the line here for Shelby.
that ain't gonna work.
So that ain't gonna work. We
That
got
ain't
him.
how that works.
You done did it now, Shelby. You done did it
I'll
now.
learn it, but I just won't play.
Nope.
Sophia's bringing
You
up
have
the contract.
you must play the game to learn it. I would make the argument that you cannot learn a game without playing it.
Can Shelby demo the game as a work function?
Nope. That's playing the game.
Hey Shelby, I just want to remind you, none of these people have any power other than me and Jen. So Take the bet. Give Shelby $250. She plays the game, and the only loser is Phil. Seems good. See, this is the way you should turn this around, Baby J.
I'm listening.
You should say, Shelby, I'd take that bet too. And as soon as she does, you offer $250 of the winnings to her to go play the game.
There you go.
Phil pays you $500. You give her $250. You still came out ahead $250.
Give her 251.
Whose side are you on?
You got to make it more appealing.
I am, to my shame, a chaos gremlin. I love it. Phil's like, I can respect that. Darn, here's $500. Cora with a C, professional paint licker. She runs the whole operation, don't lie. She's too busy sleeping.
Yeah, she doesn't run the operation around here anymore.
She's too busy
She used
sleeping.
to.
Anymore.
Used to. Definitely more interested in naps. Yeah, sleeping and eating her fancy food.
All right, here we go. Time for the dry brush.
No, Cora can't be HR anymore. We have too many people here now.
Bones looking good.
Why, thank you. Did a little bit of noosh. Give a little bit of something.
How many steps into your order? 14?
No, 4.
For your simple scheme?
No, it's primer, 2 colors, the noosh, and then I'm going to do a final dry brush. Maybe 2 if I really want to get a little fancy with it.
Slavic, yes, he is working on finishing up these models because he is going to Minnesota to play a game with, or to teach Miniac how to play Battletech, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He's leaving on Thursday. We gotta get this finished. When is Monument Hobbies making a dry brush palette? I feel like we've talked about this many times.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
That we're not. We'll put it on the timeline for, or the roadmap to coincide with plaid paint. That's quite a trip to play Battletech. It sure is. But he's really excited to go into the frozen tundra that is Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, totally. Tell us about your excitement, Jason.
What's that?
Your excitement about going to the frozen tundra.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm excited to go.
When is
That sounds like a
Monument
fun trip.
doing an FAQ so they do not have to answer this every stream?
We
We don't mind answering questions.
Nah, that's what we're here for. The problem with a dry brush palette is that, again, as the principal product designer, I don't use one. I don't see the need for them. So I have a hard time designing things that then would feel gimmicky to me in our own product line. The people that already design them do a great job of providing you products that do, fill that niche. And so I don't want to just make things to, have something else on the menu. That's not really what we do.
Yeah, Jordan's just using a paper towel right now.
Yep,
So.
works great.
Works just fine.
Man, do we make some awesome dry brushes, though. I absolutely love our dry brushes.
Well, he'll be there Thursday through Saturday, Slavic, so it doesn't look like it's actually going to be that cold. The same day we buy a popcorn machine.
Didn't we just do that? I thought we ordered one.
Didn't we just do what? Buy a popcorn machine?
Yeah, thought we
You're
ordered
not supposed
one.
to tell her that out loud.
If I smell popcorn in this building, it will be my last day here.
Well, that's not fair because I think there is like microwave pop over there.
I was gonna bring in some microwave.
If I smell burnt microwave popcorn, then the day before is my last day.
The day before?
Yeah.
What?
Jen's just out.
You don't like the smell of popcorn?
I don't love it, and I definitely don't love the burnt.
The burnt one is
popcorn.
horrible. Like it lingers like bacon. Except
Yeah.
bacon's good.
Except bacon is good.
I don't know.
That's the smell
that
we
lingering
want.
bacon smell is not
Not your favorite
not
either?
enjoyable to me either. That's why I don't like making bacon at home.
Uh-oh.
Kyle said not in the budget.
Not in the budget.
Correct.
Overruled, folks.
Professional paint liquor, I don't understand your question. How do you feel how this other company had the universal color along with the company name paints?
What?
Okay.
Huh?
What nice question is that?
I'm
G
sorry,
Money,
what?
apparently I don't. Would you like to see companies having universal colors on the side of their pots?
Oh, I mean, I don't care.
I mean,
Did
we're,
you understand that first part of the question?
Not 100%, but
Yeah, kettle corn way better than just plain old popcorn.
yeah, Army painters stealing a little bit of our shtick by doing that with their new paints.
using some dark ivory to build up
But
the
we didn't
bone
invent
color
putting
again.
pigment names on paint, so it is only good for every painter out there to not have to look at the color name be Wizard's Butt.
I mean, that's the whole point of Wizard's Butt.
That is the whole point.
Where it came from. So if I walk into a movie theater, I don't mind it because I expect it there. I just don't need it outside of a movie theater.
I don't want it in my house.
I don't want it in my house.
I don't want it in my second house.
Exactly. But I also don't eat just plain popcorn at the movie theater. I have to put flavor on it.
You put stuff in it?
Yeah.
What is your favorite condiment to put on top of?
Well,
Said
so there's a particular. So I shouldn't be this general about it because that's not really.
There's a very
the
specific way
truth.
you enjoy your
There's a
popcorn.
specific movie theater
Oh,
that
okay.
or movie theater chain. It's a local movie theater chain, Harkins, that has good popcorn. I don't like AMC popcorn,
Okay.
so I don't eat popcorn if I'm going to an AMC theater.
Also, for the record, I'm not a popcorn at a movie theater person, so
Oh.
I'm right there with you.
All right. But Harkins, which has good popcorn, they have little flavored salts. So they have like cheddar cheese,
Oh, that's fancy.
nacho. They have like 3 or 4 different. And I think they have a sweet one, like a cinnamon sugar one. So I put white cheddar salt on my popcorn at the movie theater, but only at Harkins. No popcorn is consumed in any other theater.
He's not lying.
Man, you are dedicated.
I just know what I like.
And
And
she
what I
puts
There's nothing wrong with that.
all of the
Yep.
cheddar salt
I will
on
get
there.
my own popcorn so that I can put as much cheddar salt on it as
Amazing.
I want.
Yep, we can't share popcorn.
And I do not tolerate shaming.
Shaming.
I don't let them shame me for it. Like, you mind your own business. This is my popcorn. It's
I usually
true.
don't get popcorn. I get like the nachos with the ballpark cheese and like as many jalapenos as they'll give me. Typically.
Can you usually get jalapenos on
Yeah.
that stuff?
Yeah, they keep the sliced pickled jalapenos in like little tubs that they'll give you
Oh, cool.
if you ask for it.
Man, we should do another movie night again.
That was fun.
That was such a blast.
Ghost Hunter said fancy name for paint. Fancy names for paints don't tell me at a glance what the color is. I like the
That's-
actual color name. I don't
Yep.
need I don't need the pigments though. Yeah, that's why ours are very straightforward.
Yeah, we
Color
decided to
names.
not do pigment naming like, like fine art paint style for that exact reason, because not everybody knows what that means. If I go phthalo green, blue hue, do you know what that is? Artist would, but, not everybody comes from a background of having studied those pigments. So we say, we'll say like, dark blue-green or something like that. And it works really well.
So, professional paint liquor, when you say universal colors, are you meaning the pigments?
Yeah.
Is that what that means? Okay.
Well, like calling our green green as opposed to goblin hide.
So then professional paint lurker, sorry for the confusion. My question was, how would you like for all painting companies to have universal colors on the side? I mean,
I'm not sure that we care.
I don't think we care. Yeah.
I mean, we've said it before, right? We focus on making our product the best thing on the market. We are not really looking to see what other companies are doing to
Yeah.
to
But if
base
they
what we
change
do
it
off of what
because
they
that's
do.
what we do, then cool. It makes it easier for everybody.
Yeah. We make the decisions that we make because we want to see the best paint on the market for the way that we like to use paint. And we think that it is the best way to do it. And a lot of people agree with us, as it seems, because y'all really like what we do. So, thank you for that.
What's the next movie for movie night? I don't know. I didn't go to the last one with them because it was a movie I didn't want to see.
It wasn't the T Swift movie, so she wasn't in.
I didn't go. Yeah.
If it was, she would have been down.
I would have gone for the third time because I already saw it twice.
Oh, that's right, you saw it twice.
You know what's funny? Because you've watched that movie so many times in theaters, it makes me want to watch it.
It's good.
Just to, I want to see what it was all about.
Well, so here's the thing. Right now, and I don't even know if this is the case, but they're doing a rental that like you can rent it, but it's like $20 to rent it. So if you're not a fan, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Wow,
unless
that's
you,
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unless you feel like you want to spend $20.
I
see what
still
it's about, but-
haven't bought and watched Oppenheimer. I'm like,
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was long.
It was
The
just
story's
okay.
neat, but the way it's presented it's good. But
I didn't get like all the hype.
yeah,
it was
I think
fine.
that's the thing. Is it's a good movie, but I don't understand all that.
Yeah, but I guess I mean
Music
maybe
was
we
really
just had
good.
Slim pickings. Like there's not a lot out there. Maybe I don't know.
I feel like that's what we're suffering from the
Yeah.
most right now. Is that when you can have a particular movie that's absolutely abysmal be top movie in the world. Well, that's just because that's when they released it. There's no other movies out, so it can rake in more dollars from when compared to all the movies that aren't in the theater.
well, and you think about here's another great example of that, right? You think about like the game Pal World that we were talking about during one of
Horrible.
our meetings today.
Yeah.
Not actually a good game.
No, but
Objectively, this game is not. It's not finished. It's not polished. It's not great. But it sold, 150, $200 million worth of revenue in total games sold.
yeah, he's doing something right.
So they're doing something right, but it has less to do with how good the game is, and it has more to do with how viral and how popular the game has gotten.
The video game industry is a weird one because it, like Hollywood, is suffering right now. It
Yeah.
went through a big, huge kind of golden age renaissance of tons of movies, the Marvel quotient and all that stuff happening.
Yeah.
And then like video games, they went through all of the every studio has billions of dollars to work with, and now there are all these huge layoffs
Yeah.
because they overhired, they've had trash reviews, and now the movie industry is similar. It's harder and harder to get a job
Well,
because they're not hiring as many people per movie because budgets are down.
Do do dry brushes? Are there any dry brushes that are made with natural hair?
Sure.
That doesn't seem like it would work.
No, you can. There's not really a reason to.
Source does is saying natural hair versus synthetic dry brush bristles. I would think because they're so rough with them that the natural hair wouldn't like you.
Well, the thing is, you're not even
Hard on 'em.
necessarily being super rough with them, because I mean, I'm not beating up this brush. You're definitely like brushing it against raised surfaces, but I'm not putting a ton of pressure on this.
Yeah.
So, I think when people use their dry brushes like that, I think in my opinion they're using them incorrectly. I think you get a worse result than you do with slowly building up the gradient of dry brush color over a
Dry brushing
lighter.
as a technique, though, is very bad for a brush. There is no
Yeah.
dry brush technique that saves brushes
No,
or anything
no,
like that.
no.
So by virtue of that, what Jen is saying is true, is that, why, in most cases, natural hair brushes cost more. Not always the case. There are some natural horsehair brushes and things like that can be very inexpensive because, no animals are harmed in the making of it. And so it's
Source is saying goat hair.
Yeah, I mean, all the dry brushes are pretty much synthetic goat hair anyway.
I would think that anything, just like with any kind of painting, it's personal preference.
Yeah.
Whatever
Ours
you
are
like.
synthetic goat. So the idea there, though, is that the goat hair is more expensive. There's no benefit to it versus the synthetic. With those types of hairs that don't have a draw and release mechanism for the paint that's any different, really, than what the synthetic delivers, there's no reason to buy
Maybe
one versus the other than the price.
I
what you
should
wanna
choose
afford.
the movie because I didn't like the last one, but so I don't really care that much about movies. Like, and
Well,
now
you guys
that
don't watch that much TV.
and now
probably
that we
anymore,
didn't, and now that we had so much, with COVID and that whole chunk of time where we didn't have movies in the movie theater, I kind of am like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's
There's nothing I'm super excited to see. Like, I would have to be really, really excited to see it, or have people buy tickets for me
Well, I
and
think
take me, like what happened with Taylor Swift ×2. Those were both friends. Like, hey, will you go see this? I have an extra ticket. Yes, I will.
there's something to be said for going for the company instead of the movie.
Yeah.
Like the
Well,
movie that
dude,
we went
then
to
just
see.
go to
But you don't
dinner.
talk to people.
You can't talk
Yeah,
in a
you
movie.
can't talk in a
Just go
movie.
to dinner.
But then
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
true.
but then you see the same movie and then you go talk about it. I get that, I guess, but yeah. I'm not
Yeah, I mean,
just not a
movies
big
are-
movie person.
Movies are just entertainment, man. Some people are going to really love it.
Yep.
Some people are still big movie nuts.
Yeah.
I have been fatigued on movies. A lot of what we got was the Marvel superhero rush. And so there's been so much
kinda got
superhero
tired of
overkill.
those.
And even being a nerd, and really loving the fact that, oh my God, it's like this big, huge Renaissance golden age for us nerds in movies, it is still just overdone.
Yeah.
None of them are any good anymore. Sloppy scripts, I'm a big fan of socio-political stuff in most cases, but it's just gotten belligerent. And so it's like, nah. Just a platform for people to preach and present bad movies a lot of times. So
Then I do agree with.
not as big a fan of as much of that stuff as I used to be. But then every now and then stuff comes out that is great and fun to talk about. I'm really stoked for the second episode of Dune.
Oh yeah, that I am excited for.
I mean, when I saw the latest quick preview that shows the sandworms chasing down the Sardaukar, I'm like, okay.
that's March, right?
Okay, that's like a young Jason's, complete, like, wouldn't it be great if in my lifetime I could see a movie that really told Dune the right way? And, the one that we got years ago was pretty good. And I was always excited for that. But this one is just superb. Other than Jason Momoa.
Tim, we've
Yeah.
not seen it yet. Again, kind of hard to get me to the theater.
Hey Jason,
Hmm?
when is that movie supposed to come out?
July?
Is it really pushed back that far?
I think so.
I thought it was like March.
Maybe it is.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I stopped paying attention when they kicked it back from December. I was like, oh well.
Yeah,
Whenever
me
somebody
too.
tells me we can go see it, we'll go see it.
Awkwardish Panda said March 1st for Dune 2.
March
cool.
1st. All right.
I just said, no. I didn't. It got kind of lost up there and I was going to go back to it, right, as I was also going to go back to Shelby saying that they're doing a remake of Roadhouse.
I saw this.
That just sounds terrible. Why would they do
Sounds
that?
like nothing anybody
Was Roadhouse...
needs to see.
So,
This is
I know what
indicative
I'm
of
about to
Hollywood
say
having
here.
absolutely no original ideas.
yeah.
They're not willing to take risks on anything because of the lack of money they'll get in return. The board people sit around and say, what's the chance of a loss versus the chance of a hit? And if whatever the bean counters tell them isn't in their wheelhouse, then they remake Roadhouse.
See, and
Not a good movie to begin with.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say with the add-on, that I know it's like a cult classic and people love it, but it's not a movie that needs to be remade. I don't think.
No.
I'm sad that they keep remaking.
Jade, take it easy.
These
Bye, Jade.
Patrick Swayze movies, like Point Break. That
Yeah.
is not a movie that should have been remade. Leave that as the cheesy 80s classic that it is.
Right. With Keanu and Patrick Swayze.
Oh, that movie's so good.
It's a fun movie to go back and watch even now.
Yes.
Because it's not anything that suffers from like bad. It's not like you can add anything to it.
Yeah.
You know?
They did a remake of it.
Did they?
Point Break, yeah.
It's just lousy Hollywood being lousy. Like something new, folks.
That's what I said, is that I knew that it was going to be controversial, and I wasn't saying anything bad about the movie itself, because it is a cult classic, but it doesn't need to be remade. I also don't want them to remake, like, I don't want them to remake any, well, they did a remake of all the Patrick Swayze movies, they keep trying to make them better, or redo them. Like, they did Dirty Dancing again. No.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, there've been multiple versions of Dirty Dancing that are unnecessary.
That's bizarre.
It's like the studios have a formula calendar. Like, hey, we just need a way to spend a few million and make a few million more. Do Dirty Dancing again.
Yeah. People loved that.
Well, think about it. Roadhouse and all these movies are very low budget.
Yeah.
They don't have to spend a lot of money. And it's probably the safe and smart way to go for theater or for movie studios right now, because everything else is having to be such huge budget and is losing its butt. You know, like the latest Captain Marvel movie. Oh my
gosh. What a train wreck.
You know, it got, like, I think the lowest numbers of any Marvel movie, and that
Ever.
includes ones before the Marvel Studios were
Yep.
around, like the Incredible Hulk.
Yep. It was the worst box office weekend opening for any Marvel movie ever.
Crazy. So they got to be scared about spending lots of money right now, because
Yeah. They're like, let's just safe sounds good. How about safe? How do you feel about safe? Safe. We like safe.
Jason Nwaki said, is plum just a lighter purple, or does it have a different tone?
different tone, a little bit more reddish.
Point Break was remade and they called it Fast and Furious, the first one. They actually also did a remake of it, though, which was very sad. Find out who was in the remake of Point Break.
But again, you know, it's entertainment. You like what you like. And there's people out there that love, like Ruben here, loves horrible movies. He lives for like B-rate movies. And that's great. Enjoy them. Like what you like. Don't listen to us. I'm not a big TV or movie guy anymore anyway.
Not any single person I know in the Point Break remake.
Well, they redo like Baywatch with The Rock.
Yeah. Beastie's Basement, thank you for the raid.
Thank you for the raid. Welcome.
Oh.
All right. I think I'm in love with this bone. Okay.
You said that
You
out
don't
loud.
need to take it that way.
You said that out loud.
All right.
By the way.
You
Somebody
said that
clip
out
that,
loud.
please.
Beastie's Basement, it's Beastie's Basement's birthday. Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy B Day.
$38 years young.
I don't want to read that.
The Utes.
Jordan, you need to look up and read Philip's question.
Yeah, of course, Philip. That's exactly what it means. Or something. Why you make Jen have to say things like that? You're an insensitive sort of
There's
guy.
certain things that I'm just like, I'm just not gonna read that today.
Yeah, that's not coming out of my mouth today.
I love it when I'm over here and I hear Jen say that. I'm not saying that out loud. And then she giggles.
The two youths.
Okay. I'm very happy with this recipe I have created for this color of this collection of colors that I'm putting onto these models that I'm painting. Beastie Basement. Yes, this is in fact a big old derpy skeleton dragon. And then a 25 or 30-year-old skeleton model to go with it. Which is marginally depressing, but you know, we'll make do. The real question then becomes, how do we do the bases? I really want to do that whole like bright sand, but that could be very distracting. A 25 to 30-year-old skeleton just means it has character.
Those are horrible skeletons.
They're not the best skeletons in the world.
Man, when they came out with the ones for Underworld, I was like, now that is what good fantasy skeletons look like.
I mean,
then
even
to see that in the old world, they're just like, oh, well, okay then.
it is the old world. it is the old world.
Welcome back
Yeah, welcome back.
to crappy skeletons.
Luckily, I have nostalgia for these old crappy skeletons, so it hurts less.
It hurts less.
So, I can deal with some of this pain, and
Has
life
anybody
will go
been
on.
tracking, like, what do these exact same models go for on eBay right now? Are people just making a killing?
No, not really. Meanwhile, Gosu, I just got that box of those amazing Underworld skeletons. It goes for 2 times MSRP on eBay.
I'm sure.
Luckily, I got it for normal price.
They're really good.
Which ones are these? Are these older ones or newer ones?
They're the older ones. They came out, like, I don't remember what release cycle they were in Underworlds, but it was with the first edition of the game
Oh, okay.
when it was Warhammer Underworlds instead of whatever it's called.
I don't know what it's called now.
It's 3:48. I don't know. Do you need to leave?
No, I mean it's a casual thing, so I only have to be there like 4:15. I think it's on my calendar for 4:30, so it's fine.
Okay.
Everybody mills around for a bit, and then they do the presentation at like 5.
Oh, you got a thing tonight?
Yeah,
Oh, you guys both going to the thing?
it's not allowed for Jen.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this part of the cult meeting. Does
I
not
do have my
allow-
cult training on Wednesday.
I do have my cult
She has
training
cult
on
training on Wednesday.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
I will be gone all day. I will not be here Wednesday.
I love how you guys just call it cult training.
Well, at the Christmas party, one of the couples we were with, the wife in that couple was like, "Oh, it's a cult."
It's a cult. Even the wife who spoke
Uh-huh.
as part of the presentation at the Christmas
Said
party
it.
talked about it being a cult.
Okay.
It's not. It's
It's
tongue
not
in
a
cheek.
cult.
If it talks like a duck.
Yeah. First sign of something that's surely a cult, they say they're not a cult.
Yeah.
Definitely say that.
Yeah, it's like to prove to you guys that we are not in fact a cult, we are going to call ourselves a cult. About some reverse psychology for you.
What is that? Someone has not a cult as their
Not a cult. Paint cult.
darling creep show.
It's not a cult. Old models, new prices.
I
It's a
will
good gig
say,
if you can get it. Not gonna lie, you can sell yesterday's newspaper for today's newspaper prices.
Hey.
you know what's actually really funny? I think that the Tomb Guard are actually cheaper than they used to be. Because they used to sell them in packets of 5, I think. and I think they were a little bit more per model than they are now. Not by much, but a little bit. That could also have been back when they were metal and before they were plastic. Doing my patented mix of 50-50 dark bronze and rich gold. All the gold bits on here. Does make such a nice, like, really deep, rich, ancient gold color. Because I want it to be... Faded's not the right term. I want it to feel like it's old without being... without having, like, verdigris or anything on it. I don't want it to be...
You just want it tarnished.
Yes, tarnished and not oxidized. That's the correct term I was looking for. Because they're in the desert, and you know what you don't get in desert a lot? Water.
Snow.
Also snow.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes. Also yes.
Correct. You do not get much water, nor do you get much freezing water from the sky.
Oh, well, that's true, I guess.
What's
Utah's
true?
a desert and they get snow.
Whatever.
But you
What's
do
this?
get- Utah is the desert and they do get snow there. And probably Colorado is Colorado considered a desert too?
Yeah, well, high desert, yeah.
Yeah. We do get snowbirds, that is true. Now that you're mentioning snowbirds though, I have not noticed a big issue with them this year.
Huh.
Interesting.
I've seen a lot of license plates.
Thankfully, no. Not in our neighborhood. Are they still an issue? I feel like they tend to spend their time mostly in like the suburbs. We're
Yeah, the not
dead
here parts
dead
of
center
town.
of the city right now. Oh yeah, Phil and Shelby are both saying
He's
they're
like,
in the East
"Oh."
Valley, up by Phil. Okay, so they're just not in this general vicinity. Which is another reason why I love where I live.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
We don't have to deal with unwanted Canadians.
We have other issues though. So.
My lease came around to get renewed, and I was like, "Oh heck yeah, I'm renewing! Are you kidding me?"
Oh my god, crazy!
I know, right? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean it's a couple months beforehand, of course, but yeah, March.
That's crazy. Why do they all go out on the days that we have off? Go out when the rest of us are working. Exactly.
Jen, just remember, Adepticon was my first day of work,
No.
Isn't that nuts?
and I came to visit to look at apartments.
Like right around this time of year, right?
Like I think it was
I feel like it was
8
beginning
days
of-
ago, a year ago. 'Cause
Oh.
I came
Oh,
on
it was in
January
January.
21st.
Okay, I
Yeah.
was thinking it was February, but
I came in January 21st is when I flew in.
You live in Florida. Lots of snowbirds there, too.
yeah, they tend to either pick Arizona or Florida. for
Lots of
whatever
campgrounds.
reason.
Here, there's a lot of places where we have like over
Lots of
55
Retirement communities.
retirement communities where you can rent places.
And like mobile home parks where
During
you
the
can
winter.
park your RV.
A lot of people will buy those and then come down here with their mobile home.
Yeah, your temporary winter mobile home. My great uncle, my grandpa's brother, had a little place. He would come every year. They never pick Chicago. No, they're leaving Chicago. They're all from there.
It is why we have great Chicago restaurants down here, though.
We have all the Chicago restaurants because all
It's
of
so
the
funny.
people move here.
It's like you want
They
some
snowbird here, and
limonades?
they're like, "Ooh, we should like move there."
Professional paint liquor because pets, even even without carpet, can be very destructive. I mean, my mom's dog chewed on all of the rungs of the chairs in the house.
Jeez.
Didn't destroy, it didn't have anything to do with carpet. They just destroy other things. Chew holes in the walls. We do have Portillos here, yes. We have Portillos. We have Limonati's. We have...
We had the other
several.
pizza joint, but it went out of business.
Giordano's?
Yeah, Giordano's went out of business.
Not a very good place. It's not my
Well,
favorite.
cats can be just... Cats scrape. So, okay. Also, my mom, her cat would go up onto the top. She had this like plant shelf thing, and the cat would get all the way up there, and that was the perch. And then she would like scratch the wall. So like right on the
What?
corner of the wall, the paint was all chipped off because the cat would like scratch her claws on it.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, doesn't have anything to do with carpet.
Has everything to do with silly cat thing.
Although X-Rian said a small child is arguably far more destructive than an animal in some cases, and I agree. Like, I don't know why apartments don't make you also pay a child deposit.
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't have kids.
Oh yeah, the chocolate cake shake is not good.
That's the one that bummed me out so bad. I was all excited for it.
Chocolate shake cake?
Chocolate cake shake.
3 cats and a dog, and you're trying to get a rental house? Yeah. I mean, you'll find them, but you probably will have deposits that you'll have to pay for the pets.
Yeah, if I
Alright.
want to get a pet, I
I'll
gotta
be right
pay an
back.
extra deposit. And a
Closing
monthly
time?
fee.
Closing time.
Ah, you beat me to it! Dang it!
One more call for alcohol.
I will never forget our equal serenading of the Tom Cruise Top Gun song.
Ha.
So good. All right. You know what the great thing about this dragon is?
Wow.
It's basically almost entirely bone.
Yeah, it's like bone and then some gold bracelets.
Yep.
And then a couple of claws.
Yeah. Well, even then, the claws can just be bone. I mean, I could darken them up a little bit if I really wanted to, but I'm not looking to spend a ridiculous amount of time on these models. I want them to look good. But I mean, I keep it like that, and then you put, some
You've
basing on
lost
it.
that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling, and it's gone.
Gone,
Yeah.
gone.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Boom, 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 boom. Baby, baby, I get down on my knees. What's up, chair guy? How's it going?
He heard the singing and he's here for it.
We were serenading the audience. I can tell that Jacob is tired from the weekend.
No excuse. Can't go have fun
I
and then
don't
come home and bitch about being tired.
Oh, he's not bitching.
No, I know he doesn't.
He's just quiet.
Jacob's good.
Jacob is good.
Jacob's good about that.
He's a quiet boy.
Well, Yeah, you need to for your move?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you bring it back tomorrow. Sure. One of the flatbeds, I would suggest. Yeah? Not a dolly. Or do you need a dolly, too? Both? Do we have both? I think we only have one of the dollies here, but you're welcome to borrow both of those. If you want a flatbed and a dolly, go for it. You got people helping you? Yeah, just load it in. Just make sure you bring it back tomorrow.
I'm gonna go right now, so I don't have.
All right, man. Good luck with the
Ghost
move.
Hunter. You
Chair
moving?
guy is moving.
You're moving? Where to? Like mine?
He's almost as close. He's just
Let's
down.
go.
He's just down at Osborne.
Okay, bye. That's cool. Let's go.
He just sits down. He takes the time to sit down. Can I borrow a dolly? Yes.
Ghost Hunter, excuse me, but the what song? Ghost Hunter, if you've never seen Top Gun, I encourage you to do so. It's a wonderful song.
You know, I have to admit, I feel like I liked Top Gun Maverick? Okay. I can't
It was
remember.
pretty good. It was a slightly different movie,
but pretty much the same.
but it was pretty much the same.
It just had an ending that, you know, was more of a... that was where the movie changed.
It was a more late 2000s sort of end theme or end story
Yeah.
instead of a, you know. Whoa. I don't know if I would say Maverick was better than the original. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Ghost Hunter. No, it wasn't.
I'm going to be honest with you.
That song was meaningless until he and I just sang it.
Yeah,
Now it's a chart topper.
boom. Man, I feel like I had a restful weekend. I got tons of energy right now.
But they're magic skeletons with magical tendons. How do how do big things of bones just move around? It makes no sense.
Buy professional paint liquor.
Take it easy. He's moving far away from this singing. Hey.
Hey.
Copyright strike coming. Did we get close enough for them to like mute this part of the video? How great would that be?
Yeah, like, whoa, what a nice compliment.
Game Delay says, I get so bothered by the lack of tendons on undead. I realize that's a dumb place for my disbelief to lose its suspension, but skeletons would fall apart. They're held together by magic.
They're held together by magic.
By necromancer magic.
Also, it would make the models infinitely more complicated.
Are the skeletons' lack of tendons better than why the zombies can climb out of the grave decades later and move around?
Yeah.
It's wizards.
A wizard and his butt.
All about wizards. Oh, yeah, I have a meeting I have to go to, don't I?
Yeah, probably so. Shall I close it out?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We're closing it out. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. For all of you raiders who joined us, thank you so much for raiding and for being raided with. That didn't make any sense, but we're going to keep it.
Welcome to Baby J.
I'm going to go walk over to the station so I can type in some things in chat. That's going to be mad because I'm stealing her chair. But, oh gosh, she is much shorter than I.
Just don't eat her food.
Oh, I'm not going to touch her food. All right, I'm going to throw some links here in the chat, everybody. First one here is our store link. Make sure for all of you wonderful people who are here, who do not know, we are Monument Hobbies. We make some fantastic, amazing paints that we've been using on stream to paint some cool things.
The whole time.
The whole time. And make sure that if you guys want to pick up some paints, you go to our link here that we just posted up, and it has all of the wonderful things that we make on it. You can also go to the FLGS link, which is a fantastic place for you guys to look up local game stores near you where you can also spend your money. We love to support local stores in the areas around you so that you can have cool places to hang out and paint miniatures and play games. We are also gonna send you a link to
Hey, Darth.
the
It's
YouTube.
a Clan Wolf Daiichi.
You guys are at all interested in finding out some cool things on our YouTube where we put up all of our tutorials. Jason's got some wonderful niche tutorials on there. We have a ton of shorts that you guys can go check out. We post those on our YouTube as well as all the rest of our Instagrams, our social media platforms. I feel like I'm missing a link or two.
YouTube?
I put
Discord?
the YouTube. Discord. All right, Discord is a great place to hang out and talk with all of us nerds, even when we're not live. We do monthly challenges. We hang out. We talk nerd stuff, and we have thousands of people on there who are fantastic painters. If you have any questions about anything when we're not live, that's a great place to find answers. So yeah, over 3,000 amazing artists, and me on the Discord. Ghost Hunter, you're also an amazing artist.
That's his new shtick. He's like, there's over 3,000 amazing artists, and then me.
And then me. We have our monthly challenge here closing up for everybody who has been participating or wants to participate. We have exactly
2 days.
2 days. So you got a couple of days yet. We're gonna go over them next Tuesday. So make sure that you guys get everything in by Wednesday night, and we will have the new one posted for you on Thursday. All right. Thank you, everybody here. So make sure if you want to catch us for more streams, we go live Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that's going to be Arizona time. Basically, look at the time that it is now. Subtract 7 minutes. That's what time we end. So thank you guys so much. We're going to find somebody to raid. We will see you next time.
No singing, no dancing.
No singing, no dancing. Except for when
Bye.
you're singing that song. Goodbye. Where is the end stream button?
Episode of Tup. Might have been Hobbies. Hello, everybody. Oh, come on in.